Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Bumi and today we are watching Gray versus Esdeath, Fairy Tail versus Akame ga Kill by Death Battle. Yes, this one was suggested by Josh Blackwell over here. And yeah, well, I've seen uh, I've seen all of Akame ga Kill. Honestly, one of the best animes out there in my opinion. Story was really good, characters were really um entertaining and how do you call this, I don't think engaging is the right word. Well, you can really feel for the characters. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, Fairy Tail, I've seen most of Fairy Tail. I think um I can't recall where I stopped actually. I think it was after they came back looking for the other S-class guy, the mage. I forgot what his name was. But yeah, I stopped there, so I don't know their recent like power ups when it comes to their characters. Let's see. But I do know Gray. Gray is the ice guy. Of course, he gets matched up with Esdeath, the ice queen herself, in Akame ga Kill. This will be very interesting though. I kind of get their how do you call this, power sets. I forget if Gray is like Natsu that can eat fire to power himself up. I'm not sure if he can also eat ice to do the same. So we'll see. But I will be rooting for Esdeath on this one. Because between the two of them, I like Esdeath more as a character. Well, if you haven't seen Akame ga Kill, I definitely advise you to go watch it. It's a very good show. I always dub it as the Game of Thrones when it comes to the anime. By that I mean you don't know who's gonna die next. Not that it's bad like Game of Thrones. So yeah, I recommend you to go ahead and check that out. So let's go ahead and watch this video. So remember, if you like my reactions, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below and consider subscribing. We are trying to get to 1,000 subs this year, so hopefully you guys can help me out with that. And also leave your suggestions on what I should check on next. That being said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
The element of ice is cold and unforgiving.
Literally!
Only in an equally frigid and unmerciful land can one understand its true potential.
Like Gray Fullbuster, Ice Mage of the Fairy Tail Guild.
Oh, I forgot that
And
was his name.
Esdeath, the Imperial General from Akame ga Kill.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright, let's go.
In a land far, far away lies the kingdom of Fiori, a place filled with magic.
But not everyone was living their best life in Magic Town.
Gray Fullbuster was a child of the north, living among the frigid cold.
Until an edgy-looking demon showed up and wiped out the whole place. Gray survived, though everyone else wasn't so lucky. But hey, at least he got adopted by a hot stripper.
This was Ur, and she just so happened to be one of the
Oh yeah, that's right.
in the world.
She was a
Gray
stripper
got to
too.
training. Who else is gonna take out that creepy demon for revenge and justice, right? And he needed to master ice magic to do it.
Gray worked tirelessly and eventually became a master of ice make molding magic, essentially crafting weapons, tools, and other inanimate objects out of ice.
Swords, shields, hammers, grappling hooks, stairs, clones of himself, anything he wants really. He can even whip out a friggin' ice bazooka. He also took after new mom and became a regular Chippendale himself. Yeah, he really never stopped doing that.
But with powerful magic at his beck and call, Gray became reckless, desperate to prove himself and destroy the demon. Sadly, this carelessness would change his life for the worse one more time.
He tried to take the demon out himself, but things didn't go so great. Even with his
That looks like Luffy.
Whoa.
I keep
Gray
staring at
learned
it.
how to do all
It
this
looks like
cool
Luffy.
Ice magic by stripping?
Well,
Ice magic, here I come! Oil me up, Wiz!
no. Removing clothes was just part of Ur's training. See, she instructed Gray to do so in order to adapt to the cold to better resist it, letting him have a much greater range when it comes to his own ice magic.
That makes sense.
Why didn't you say that 5 seconds earlier, when I still had my favorite shirt?
Anyway, Gray was outmatched by the demon, and Ur was forced to step in with her ultimate spell. iced shell.
It's a super handy move
interesting.
that can freeze a giant demon like that for good. Haha!
At the
Sacrifice?
cost of the caster's life.
Yeah.
There it is. Big oof. If that's
Big
not
oof
bad
indeed.
enough, Gray learned an ultimate version called Lost Iced Shell. This one also kills you, but as a bonus, it also erases the memories of you from everyone who ever knew you.
Oh,
Sure, the Lost Ice Shell is hundreds of times more powerful and basically a
so it basically makes it as if like you never existed. That's interesting. I never got to this part.
guaranteed win move if he has enough time to cast it. But how does that even work? Say Gray cut off your arm, leaving you handicapped for years, then Lost Ice Shelled himself elsewhere. That would be a very confusing day.
Is that how I lost my leg? Wonder who it was I knew. Well, speaking of loss, Gray Filibuster had lost 2 families at this point.
But once again, he found new footing and new friends, this time with the mages of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Including a clingy blue-haired water lady.
Oh yeah,
It's
Juvia.
okay, you can ship them. Everybody does, including them.
Now full from a serious helping of humble pie, Gray changed his tune. No longer would he be a reckless avenger, but a cautious, laid-back defender of his new friends. Which works out since this is the sort of world where fighting for your friends actually increases your magical power.
Yep.
True story.
You could say he started keeping a cool head, huh? Yep, no more demon hunting for him. Well, until he got his hands on demon killing magic, of course.
After becoming an ice devil
When was this?
he learned how to devour ice to replenish his
Oh, there we
extremely
go.
resistant to ice attacks.
Okay, so he's like Natsu now, which I think that that skill of eating your own element is like unique to dragons and those they train, just like Natsu. So wait, I hope I'm not saying the wrong name. Okay, there it is, Natsu. So yeah, he can eat ice to replenish his own magic, which means he can be a direct counter to Esdeath. I'm not sure if he has limits, so I'm still gonna go for Esdeath on
Mess
this
around
one.
with other people's ice magic.
'Cause
and
she is
conjure
brutal.
spells designed to kill demons.
Which would have been really, really handy just a little bit ago. Oh well, with all this magic, ice mages can wipe out an entire town all at once, or stir up an ice storm that covered the country of Fiori.
By comparing Invel's ice storm to the scale of Fiori based on official maps, it appears the force and energy of the storm would be equivalent to more than 27 gigatons of TNT.
How would you
That's a
even
big
calculate
storm,
that?
And it makes sense, as Gray can fight on par with fellow guildies Natsu and Urza. Natsu has dodged lightning, and Urza blew up this giant meteor all by herself.
Measuring the distance between the meteor and land in this shot, then comparing its size to Urza in this one, we found that Urza must have been moving over 20,000 times the speed of sound to intercept it,
Wait,
striking it with a force of over 50 teratons of
wait,
TNT.
wait.
Gray
Where was this calculation when he was fighting Zoro? Because as far as I can remember, which was just a few days ago for me, and last death battle I believe for you guys, Urza didn't have this feat before.
should
Huh.
definitely be in the same ballpark at least, especially since Urza wasn't even at her full strength.
Truly, as long as Gray keeps his pants on, literally, he is a fierce warrior who will always fight for his friends.
'Cause I've got a will all of my own. And it says my friends and I are gonna walk the path of life.
Oh, that was so corny.
As a child,
It's always so corny when you hear it in the English dubs. God damn.
Esdeath lived among her clan in the northern
Right.
frontier, hunting giant
Waifu
monsters called
Esdeath, let's
danger
go.
beasts with her father.
Awesome! Now that's how you raise a kid! Look at the size of that thing! Where can I get a hunting license for those?
However, Esdeath's destiny would lie further south, among a 1,000-year-old empire.
Because what do you know? Her whole clan got wiped out, leaving her as the lone survivor. Now, normally this would lead to a dramatic revenge story and a lesson on friendship and appreciating what you have and stuff. But, that's not what happened.
Right, Esdeath ascribed herself to a sort of survival
Yep.
of the fittest philosophy. To her, if her father lay dead before her, that didn't mean she should be sad or angry. That meant her father was weak.
Damn right, finally, somebody knows what I'm talking about. That's my power of friendship. This girl's got it all figured out.
Well, now on her own, and maybe a bit insane, Esdeath joined the militant ranks of the widespread empire, where her violent nature found a new calling.
Yeah, like when she buried 400,000 people alive. Mama Boomstick always told me you should enjoy your work, so good for her, I guess. She even got a promotion and an offer of a new weapon that would change everything. A Tegu.
Esdeath was already extremely proficient with a sword, but this was something entirely different. A Tegu is a supernatural relic forged from the remnants of special danger beasts. They can take the form of anything from a battle axe to a flute to a giant pair of scissors.
Yep.
However, Esdeath chose one so unique, most were absolutely terrified of it. It was blood, the demon's extract.
And because she's a totally sane and normal person, she drank it. All of it. Okay.
And she
Surviving the side
survived.
effects, you know, the usual headaches, nausea, maddening voices in her head telling her to kill everyone, Esdeath earned her reward.
Ice magic, bitches! She can make and shape ice out of thin air. Weapons, shields, platforms, horses, frickin' meteors. You name it, she can make it. Plus, she can fly by holding herself in the air with ice, and once built an entire army of ice horse people. Look at them all! There's thousands of them!
Yep.
Well, it did take her a few days to make them all, implying she has a limit to her ability. Regardless, her enormous power is clear. She can even create a giant suit of armor around herself like some sort of icy mech.
And as far as I can remember, I think she was the one that also stopped time.
So she's a super
Well,
deadly
freeze
ice lady,
time.
but she's also got a soft side.
Even with all the power she held, not even sadistic conquest or unstoppable ice magic could fill the void in her heart.
Yeah.
Esdeath sought one thing above all else.
She just wants love.
The Ice Queen needs some lovin'. I know just the man for the job.
So does she, apparently. She made a list of the specific qualities in her ideal man, who turned out to be this guy, Tatsumi.
What? Really? Oh, some dopey generic anime protagonist kid.
Well, he literally is an anime protagonist.
Oh, come on, he's like a 3 out of 10 and she's not even on the chart. She's way too good for him.
Is she?
Oh, right, she's crazy. Even better!
Deranged sadism aside, there is one skill of hers which impresses above all else. Mahoptima.
Gesundheit. It's a
Mahoptima.
time stop she can only use
Oh, yeah.
once per day.
The
It
time stop.
freezes time.
This is the one.
Like literally, freezes it with cold.
This makes no sense.
Anyway, Esdeath got to work leading her new hunting group called the Jaegers and doing as many awesome things as she could to impress that Tatsumi brat. Once she froze an entire river with zero effort. Imagine how many slushies you could make with that.
That isn't even a fraction of her true potential. After absorbing those tens of thousands of ice cavalry, Esdeath harnessed enough power to create an icy storm that spanned an entire continent. Comparing its size relative to the planet's diameter, producing a storm of this scale would require a kinetic energy over
How much?
280 petatons
Ooh,
of TNT.
that's
Super impressive.
that is way more than what Gray is estimated to have. So yeah, my girl Esdeath is gonna win this.
But remember, it took her, quote, a few days to make that many ice people.
Essentially stockpiling a lot more power than she would normally be capable of on any individual day.
But Esdeath has tangled with the toughest rebels out there. Akame, who can dodge lightning, and dumb old Tatsumi, who was strong enough to outmuscle this absolute unit of a Tega called, Chico Taser. What's up with all these made-up German words?
Shikoteza, or the Primus Imperator, was powerful enough to create a massive crater outside the Imperial capital. To make a crater of this size, the blast must have equaled over 900 teratons of TNT.
And Esdeath is even more hardcore. Get this, one time her arm was poisoned, but before she let the poison spread to her body, she karate chopped her whole freaking arm off and replaced it with an ice sword.
Yep.
Yes!
Sadly, or luckily, depending on where
She
you
is
stand,
no joke.
all the power in the world wasn't enough for Esdeath to win Tatsumi's love.
And she didn't even get to conquer the world either, because the main title character had to ruin everything.
But in the end, she didn't lament her failure to conquer, or see herself as weak. Rather, she simply regretted not being able to look at Tatsumi one more time. Perhaps her cold philosophy was growing a bit warmer. Or maybe she was just an insane psychopath.
I will always be on top. I will always be victorious, no matter what gets in my way.
Well, her English voice actor is
Run the data through all possibilities.
still.
First, all this
I may be biased that I prefer her dub voice. I mean her sub voice, Japanese dub. Yeah. If it's not clear already, I'm still with Esdeath on this one. Totally not a waifu bias, but yeah, just based on their feats, I think Mahapdama will be something that I don't think Gray has a counter for, so we'll see.
Talking has made me hungry for Blue Apron.
With
Alright, let's
guidance,
skip the
backup
Blue
except
Apron.
apron, Blue Apron.
Conquering.
Alright.
Such a paltry country is hardly worth conquering.
Hey,
Let's go, Esdeath.
take your troops and get out.
Well, then again, Gray is somewhat immune to ice attack, so we'll see. We'll see.
Oh,
I'm
just
still with
what I need.
Esdeath though.
Another crazy blue-haired woman in my life.
That's right.
You have no right to feel my boot against your face. Now. Die for me!
Ice make, crush it, flame. Take this.
A hammer?
Ice cannon.
Of course he's gonna pull the cannon.
Very nice. Ice storm!
Well, that ice storm shouldn't be a problem for Gray. Oh, we're going demon magic now.
Meal.
And he ate the ice.
Impact. Ice Devil, Zero Longsword.
Ooh, she lost an arm. Interesting.
She's too much.
He's gonna use the lost ice shell.
Everything in sight will be encased in ice.
Mahapdama? Yep. Interesting. Oh, wow. I thought he got him there.
Congratulations
Damn.
and goodbye.
He's dead, right?
KO.
Oh, wow. I thought he was gonna break out of Mahapdama because he's somewhat immune to ice attacks, and Esdeath is basically freezing time. Whew, but still, Esdeath won. That still goes to my win streak.
Just in, male stripper found dead after a crazy night with a dominatrix gone wrong. 4-7.
Well, let's get to this. This was certainly an interesting matchup, and both cryomancers held their own advantages.
Oh yeah, Gray's awesome ice make powers meant he had a ton of versatility at his frosty fingertips. Like how he could eat ice to replenish his magic. She sure didn't see that one coming.
Though, being the tactician she is, Esdeath likely wouldn't fall for any of Gray's tricks more than once.
Yep.
Also, both were in the same range of speed by scaling to feats of dodging lightning.
Yeah, but the Queen of Cold Kink definitely had more ice power up her sleeves. Just look at those storms. The one Grayscale's 2 covered a country, while Esdeath's covered a whole continent.
True, but we still had to deduce the exact nature and potential of her storm. Remember, Esdeath specifically claimed it took her a few days to make the ice cavalry she used as fuel for the storm. A few generally means 3 at minimum. So we can cut the yield of our previous calculation to 1/3. Lowballing this a bit, let's assume she used all of her power each day to make 1/3 of the total cavalry.
Still a lot.
This would mean Esdeath could wield about 93
Yep.
petatons worth of energy on a daily basis.
Still way
Yeah,
more.
that's way more than Invel's Ice
Yep.
Storm, and 1,600 times deadlier than that meteor Urza obliterated. Esdeath definitely had the advantage in sheer magic power. Even with his better resistances, there's no way Gray could survive that much magic force. So he really only had one shot, the Lost Ice Shell.
Which certainly could have ended things right then and there, if not for Esdeath's time stop ability. Both the Ice Shell and Mahoptima could only be used once, but Mahoptima was more useful given its immediate effect compared to the Ice Shell's long casting time.
Yeah.
And its versatility in that Esdeath could follow it up with whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
So-
Plus, Esdeath doesn't die when she uses Mahoptima.
Doesn't kill her, so...
Yeah,
that's a-
there you go.
Sure.
Technically, Gray's Ice Devil Slayer magic means he could probably resist the Mahoptopotamus a bit. But that brat Tatsumi had crazy good cold resistance too, and it didn't do him much good against the time freeze.
Gray's speed and versatility meant he could hold his own. But Esdeath's awesome power, uniquely suited time freezing, and domineering perseverance saw her through this battle.
Looks like Esdeath stopped Gray cold.
The winner is Esdeath.
Nice. Alright.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Alright, that was really good. It went the way that I hoped it would go. That Esdeath would win, just as when I remembered that she had the time stop. I actually know beforehand, since I watched the anime, that she had the time stop. I wasn't sure if they're gonna mention it or not, and I didn't want to spoil anyone who might have not yet seen it. So yeah, but still, there's a really good ending to that, which was, yeah, just really good. Just go watch the anime if you haven't seen it, or if you've just heard of Akame Kill. I highly recommend it. When it comes to overall power and strategy, of course, it seems like Esdeath had Gray on the ropes. I really couldn't see any way that it could have gone, especially since they did mention that Lost Ice Shell does take a while to cast. Even with Gray's demon slaying magic, it still wasn't enough for time freeze. So yeah, there you go. There really isn't much to say there, really. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Link to my Twitter is down in the description below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to. And if you're new here and enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below, and consider subscribing. We are trying to get to 1,000 subs this year, so hopefully you guys can help me out with that. And don't forget to leave your suggestions on what I should check out next. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!